huge sports night after all last night. And I'm going to tell you why, because I bet you missed it. Did you miss it?
I bet I missed it.
Oh, I knew you were going to miss it. So I was really excited to come in and tell you. One of the greatest dynasties that we have ever seen in college sports came to an end last night. Oklahoma.
Texas Tech.
Falls to Texas Tech in the
Red
Women's
Raiders.
College World Series semifinals.
Guns
Texas
up.
Tech wins on a sacrifice fly in the bottom of the 7th. I do not follow softball particularly closely, but there are two things that I knew about college softball going into this year's World Series, going into this tournament. And one of them is that Oklahoma has just ruled the sport. Like when you're talking about Oklahoma softball, they have been straight domination. They've won 4 straight national titles. They are the first and only team to have ever done that in Division I. And if they were going to add a 5th, it was just going to add to an already insane run by their coach, Patty Gasso, who has been there since 1995. She's been there 31 years. Oklahoma's gone to 18 College World Series since 2000. They've won 8. So by all means, Oklahoma softball, absolute dynasty, absolute powerhouse. The other thing that I fringely knew was that Texas Tech had spent a crazy amount of NIL money on their softball team. I think this story emerged going into the tournament, and I just loosely checked it out, didn't really deep dive, but was intrigued that Texas Tech had spent all this money on softball. And specifically, they went out and got this player named NiJaree Canady. Now
Wait, Texas Tech or Oklahoma?
Texas Tech.
Okay.
Texas
Tech is spending a boatload
spending S-ton of money. $1 million for this Canady player, right? She had played at Stanford for 2 years. They go out, they snipe her during the summer. They're like, we're going to give you $1 million. Patrick Mahomes was involved in his recruitment. There was reports that he interrupted his Italian vacation last summer and called her and pitched Texas Tech to her. And so he's involved. They end up getting her to come to Texas Tech. Texas Tech, not a softball powerhouse. If Oklahoma's on one side, Texas Tech is, I'm not an expert, not good. Like towards the bottom of the Big 12 at the very least. Had never won a Big 12 championship, certainly, until this year. Canady helps lead this team to its first Big 12 championship. They host a regional. They win their super regional. It ends with a trip to their first ever College World Series in program history. And now they are into the finals where they're going to face Texas in the series final with a chance at a championship on the line. Canady, the pitcher, she has thrown every single pitch so far in the World Series for Texas Tech. 300 pitches in 5 days. She's 3-0. She has been worth every single penny. I cannot think of a more crystal clear example of a school spending that much money on a non-football or basketball sport and it paying off immediately.
Paying off, yeah.
You go from nothing to beating the Dynasty and now being in the finals for the first time. I'll be following this the rest of the way.
Okay, so does she hit too?
Yes.
Okay, I didn't know
Yes.
that. All right. That's impressive because I know I don't know anything about women's softball. I do know Oklahoma has been a monster. I do know that.
Yeah.
So that's incredibly impressive. Texas Tech, so it's not just it's Patrick Mahomes. Who else is it there? Because they are shelling out for their basketball team like crazy too right now.
They're spending a ton of money.
Because they brought back Toppin for $4 million. They brought back another kid. They're bringing Texas Tech might be one of the top 3 teams in the country next year in basketball. They're bringing back like pretty much their entire roster.
I think they also have a crazy football roster coming up, don't they? They spent, what did Jacob say? $20 million on their football team. Who is giving all this money to Texas? We always think of Texas A&M as oil, but does the oil run through all of them Texas hills and get you to Texas Tech as well? I mean, it's crazy to go from softball, basketball. How did their baseball team do this year? I don't know. Why would I ask that question into the abyss when we're just now following this for the first time of the season?
There's literally a thing. It's like, where is Texas Tech football's NIL money coming from?
What does it say? Do you have the answers?
So it's pulling up Texas football. The Matador Club, whatever the Matador Club is.
The Matador Club.
That's
their NIL collective.
That's their NIL. It looks like the Matador Club.
When you click on the Matador Club, I don't know if this is just because it is the most current thing right now, but the first thing is a shot of their softball team. Like, talk about really using your NIL for the entire athletic space. I don't know. It's pretty impressive. Anyway, we'll see if Texas Tech can go ahead and beat Texas.
So
an old Big 12 rivalry.
Kurt Signetti from Indiana. It is not $20 million, their roster. It's more than that.
Oh.
Kurt Signetti from Indiana says there are 6 teams this year in college football coming up that will have a $40 million roster. 6 teams that Kurt Signetti says they are going to, from what he knows going out there today. No, I have the 6 teams who he says.
So Texas Tech.
Texas Tech is one of them.
Oregon?
Yes.
Georgia?
No.
Alabama?
No.
Is there an SEC team?
Yeah,
on the
there
list?
is one.
Tennessee?
No.
No, they lost a lot. Texas?
Texas. That's the SEC team.
Again, in the state of
6
Texas.
programs Indiana head coach Kurt Signetti claims will have a $40 million roster.
Conference of the others?
Big Ten.
Ohio State?
Ohio State.
Only one Big Ten?
Only one Big Ten.
Oregon and Ohio State.
Yeah, Oregon and Ohio State.
Okay, what's the next conference?
ACC.
Clemson?
No.
Miami?
We know Dabo
So that's
doesn't
5.
do the portal.
Right.
So it can't be Clemson.
Duh.
Miami, and then the other, there's no conference.
Notre Dame.
Notre Dame. Yeah, Notre Dame.
Wow.
Notre Dame.
That's crazy.
Notre Dame should kill it in NIL right now. Like,
yes.
Kill it. They don't have to give
We
money
have an
to anybody. They get to keep
we have
all
an
their
American
money.
Pope. The Catholic Church has never been hotter.
Yeah.
I just went to Italian Fest. That benefited the Catholic Church. They can take some of that money and send it to the Notre Dame football team.
Yeah.
It's everywhere. Yeah, Notre Dame should.
Notre Dame's big. Yeah.
That's wild.
Yeah.
Well, you said you watched the Ole Miss game last night.
I flipped it on right when I sat down for dinner, and it was right when Ole Miss started their comeback. Like, they were down 12-3, Ole Miss was. And then they came all the way back, and they got it to 12-8, and then they got it to 12-11, and then props to Murray State for holding on to that. I thought for sure that when it got to like 12-8, I was like, Ole Miss is going to do this. And then they hit and then Ole Miss came up in the next inning and hit a 3-run homer, I think, in the 8th to make it 12-11. And I thought, yeah, they're absolutely going to do this. And they got to the 9th, and Murray State was able to they were able to close it out. And then the Murray State manager got the Powerade bath afterwards. Powerade, not Gatorade, because this is the NCAA, and they drink Powerade, not Gatorade. You know that if you ever try to go to the NCAA tournament and they tell you you cannot have your drink showing it has to be in a Powerade cup when you sit courtside.
That's true.
You should know this, Jessica.
I do.
Yeah, it has to be. It's Powerade, not Gatorade.
Powerade
the Powerade
only.
bath.
And it's blue.
Yes.
Usually.
The manager got a Powerade bath, and then he got back on the headset to talk to ESPN, and he said, "Oh, they got the jaw." He goes, "They're wet. They're going to ruin the jaws." He was wearing jaw 2s. The manager
The influence never ends.
Special jaw 2s. Murray State, though, yeah.
I saw a little bit of the Tennessee-Wake Forest game, and by seeing a little bit of the Tennessee-Wake Forest game, I mean, all I saw was the clip of the Wake Forest coach getting caught saying a slur during Pride Month, and then the Tennessee player hitting a 2-run home run. So that was immediate karma for that guy. Just reminded the cameras, they are everywhere this time of year. According to the chat, the guy in charge of Texas Tech's NIL Collective and all of that money is a guy named Cody Campbell, and he is a Texas billionaire businessman and Texas Tech board chair. And just in my very quick research, Cody Campbell and his partner, the headline was former Texas Tech football players sell company for $2.8 billion.
Yeah.
7 years ago, Canyon High School alumni and former Texas Tech players Cody Campbell and John Sellers were fledgling 28-year-old oil men. I wish I was a fledgling 28-year-old oil woman.
Yeah.
Whose company survived lease to lease. Last week, the Double Eagle Energy Permian LLC co-CEOs sold 71,000 acres of Permian Basin mineral rights for $2.8 billion, making them two of the richest Texans under 40. You have a billionaire named Cody? That's the most American thing I've ever heard. Hey, I'm Cody.
That is very
I'm
American.
a billionaire living in the United States of America.
I got a cowboy hat.
Crazy.
I got a cowboy hat. And my name's Cody, so it's not dip, it's Zen.
And this was years.
I've got some Zen. Yeah.
You're saying
That's all the
American billionaires.
The new billionaire,
are
the new age of billionaires, oil
all
billionaires
on the
coming
Zen.
up. It's not going to be tobacco. It's like Jerry Jones is tobacco.
Yes.
And dip.
And now we're Zen.
Chewing tobacco. Now it's going to be Zen.
Dang.
Yeah.
Well, I'll be following Texas Tech softball because I have no choice this time of year.
The Jessica Benson Show with CJ Hart, live every weekday at 8 a.m.